Imagine being 500 miles from the nearest coastline, surrounded by nothing but ocean, and you're running out of water. That's the reality for 5,000 sailors living on a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier every single day. No ports, no supply ships, no rivers, just endless, undrinkable salt water in every direction. So how are they not dying of thirst right now? The answer involves one of the most powerful machines ever built, and it's running 24 hours a day deep beneath the flight deck. Here's something that'll mess with your head. A Nimitz-class aircraft carrier is essentially a floating city. It has its own hospital, barbershops, gyms, a post office, even a TV station. Over 5,000 people eat, sleep, shower, and work on it every day. Now think about this. The average American uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water per day. Multiply that by 5,000 people. That's up to 500,000 gallons every single day. And the carrier doesn't carry that water. It can't. That much water would weigh over 4 million pounds. So, where does it come from? The ocean. The same salty, completely undrinkable ocean surrounding them on all sides. Now here's where things get interesting, and a little bit terrifying if you think about what's at stake. Buried deep inside the carrier, below the aircraft hangars, below the fuel tanks, sits a system called the Reverse Osmosis Water Purification Unit, or ROWPU. And what this machine does borders on the miraculous. Seawater contains about 35,000 parts per million of dissolved salt. Human kidneys can only process water with less than 1,000 parts per million. Drink pure seawater and your body will actually dehydrate faster as it desperately tries to flush out the salt. The ROWPU system doesn't just filter that water, it forces it under enormous pressure, sometimes 800 to 1,000 pounds per square inch, through a membrane with holes so small they're invisible to the naked eye. Holes just 0.00001 microns wide. To put that in perspective, a human hair is about 70 microns thick. These holes are 700,000 times smaller than a single strand of your hair. At that pressure, the water molecules squeeze through, but the salt, bacteria, viruses, everything else gets left behind. What comes out the other side? Pure, clean, drinkable water. Now here's the twist nobody talks about. Modern nuclear carriers like the USS Gerald R. Ford don't just rely on ROWPU alone. They have a secret weapon that makes the whole operation almost unimaginably powerful. Nuclear reactors. A carrier's nuclear reactor generates a staggering amount of heat as a byproduct. Engineers figured out they could capture that waste heat and use it to run a second water-making system called a distillation plant, essentially a massive seawater boiler. The seawater gets flash evaporated, the steam rises, leaves the salt behind, and then gets condensed back into liquid, pure water, at an industrial scale. Together, the nuclear-powered distillation system and the reverse osmosis units, a carrier can produce over 400,000 gallons of fresh water per day, every single day, without ever stopping at a port. But here's what most people never consider. All of this happens because of a crew of specialized sailors called Water Kings. That's actually their nickname. Their official title is machinist's mate, but on a carrier, they are royalty. These sailors monitor the water systems around the clock. They test the water quality every single hour. If the salinity levels spike even slightly, if something goes wrong, thousands of people lose access to clean water instantly. The entire crew's survival depends on them not making a single mistake. No pressure. What's remarkable is that this same technology, reverse osmosis, desalination, is now being used to solve global water crises. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the UAE get a massive portion of their fresh water supply from the sea using the exact same principles pioneered by military engineers. A piece of technology designed to keep sailors alive in the middle of the ocean is now helping entire nations survive. The ocean has always been humanity's greatest barrier, cold, vast, and undrinkable. But somewhere on the deck of a nuclear aircraft carrier, 500 miles from land, a sailor is filling a glass of water from the sea and drinking it without a second thought. The ocean lost. If you want to know what other impossible problems the U.S. Navy has quietly solved, the next video is waiting for you right now.